Tell us about your story on a romantic level. How did this play? How did you meet? And because you've created this business together, and it's because of one another that this has been possible. And you're also very fulfilled on your personal life. So how did this happen? Tell us.
I was working in a restaurant, and Terry had come in for dinner with a mutual friend of ours, and I was in a relationship prior that was ending, and Terry had been out of his relationship prior for about a year. And I saw him, I liked him. We had met actually a couple of years before we started dating through mutual friends. We saw each other a couple times throughout those years. It was 88 through 90. And in 1990, he came into a restaurant where I was working, and I was the server. He was sitting down with a mutual friend, and we just connected. Nothing more than he was a nice man. I liked him.
You swept me off my feet.
I swept you off your feet, exactly. But I was not into dating customers or anything like that. But I invited him out for a drink that night. I was going out with some friends from work, and from there it evolved into a relationship. And I would say, we've had an amazing relationship. Into our 10th year, we hit a really rough spot. And we ended up going to see a couples counselor. And I honestly thought the relationship was over. And I was done. The stupid things that you are able to do to one another. And so I went to therapy with Terry reluctantly. But the therapist that we worked with was like finding an angel here on earth, and extremely intuitive, a very gifted woman. And she really helped to bring me into the relationship and helped Terry understand his roles in the relationship, the healthy and the unhealthy for both of us. And we really, in our 10th year, I think we really learned how to communicate, which is the key for any relationship. The physicality is amazing, the love is amazing, but if you cannot verbally communicate, you've got nothing.
Well, and the communication is something we're always learning. That's always growing and changing and evolving. And to then begin doing a business together, before, when Michael was working in the restaurant, it's like we hardly saw each other. He would work at night and I worked during the day. And so, the relationship had its challenges then, because he would come home and I'd want to, talk, and he'd been talking all night. So, he wasn't in the mood to really talk. And so there were these kind of opposites. And then we started up the business together. And now we're together. It's not 24/7, but in our busy season it is.
Yeah.
But, Michael has his business, and that's his passion, and that's his goal, to carry that forward. And yet he's also helping and integral with Terry's Toffee as the co-owner. So there's this balancing act that goes on. We have a really wonderful advantage in that he's physically he's physically running a different aspect of the business. He's in charge of production, so I stay out of production. That's his issue. That's what he does. I take care of all the marketing and sales and all the details that need to be done in the front. So that helps immensely.
Yeah. So how you meeting actually enabled this venture and this whole creation on a spiritual level? Because you lost your mom, your parent, and that opened your father.
Yeah.
And that opened up this whole idea, this whole concept for you that connected the dots. That's what's amazing in this relationship too, is the spiritual, how you helped each other's mission here and life purpose, and all this happened because of this connection.
Yeah, absolutely. I think his father passed away. My father had passed away. We lost both of our fathers within a year of each other, and Michael and we talk a lot. We do talk about things a lot. We share a lot with each other. We confide in one another, and we've become each other's best friend through that process. And yet we also have learned to create boundaries for each other, for ourselves, so that if something is someone else's issue, we don't want to have this codependent relationship. We want to have our relationship continue to be fresh and exciting and lively and passionate. And for me, I've learned that the passion is not driven by necessarily the intimacy sexually, although that's important. The passion has gone much deeper into, I have such respect and admiration for Michael and his work that he does, because I can see that it is such a clear connection for him, for his soul. I see his soul through his work. And, for me with Terry's Toffee, this is absolutely not the end of the only thing I'm going to do. Our goal is actually to sell our company, because we created it. We're creators. I'm an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a creator. So I'm not a businessman in the typical sense of a businessman. This company is poised for incredible growth. It's ready to it's bursting at the seams, and our prayer these days, our focus is to, now we're in another balancing act where we're balancing continuing with the passion for our business and our passion for one another, and also our passion to go on and create in our life. Terry's Toffee has led us into many really exciting opportunities. Now we both feel it's an opportunity for us to release the company and move on and create other things. It's almost been like I went through college running this business, and now I'm ready to step out into the world in other ways. I love the healing work Michael does, and I want to work with him in that area and help him to create that to the fullest that can be created.
I think what's interesting too about our relationship is Terry's Toffee has brought out the perfect, it's like the perfect marriage of our talent. I have a food background, so I can handle all of our production, and Terry's background is in sales and marketing, and that we're able to both bring forth what we know how to do. It's been really, really interesting. And in my energy work with my clairvoyance, I'm clairvoyant, clairaudient, and clairsentient. So I hear, I see, and I feel. And watching Terry open up to his own intuition, his own sixth sense. And there are more senses than just those six, but he's doing an amazing job of following his intuition. And that's what Terry's Toffee has taught us, is that people are really hungry. They love our toffee, but they're hungering for something bigger, a connection. We keep talking about spirit. It's really whatever your belief is. It's God, Buddha, Allah, the trees, the universe, the stars, a dog, whatever. If you don't believe, that's a belief. So, but people seem to be really hungry, and they seem to really be connecting with our story.
Totally.
They seem to be inspired, and we share our story for no other reason than to simply inspire other people, that here are two guys who do not have a business plan, and we're doing okay. And like you had asked about the Academy Awards, and it was simply Terry driving down Lakeshore Drive, and the thought coming through, how do you get into the Academy Awards? The thought that he had, coming into our home, picking up the telephone, calling the Academy and saying, how do I get in? And from there, snowballing, and 6 or 7 years later, here we are, a part of the Academy Awards.
What I find really inspiring too is that, obviously it's a man-to-man relationship, where from the outside at least we see a lot of competition in this world, or at least it's very like there's not that many couple that are stable throughout long years, it seems, at least. And so you had that, plus you're working together, plus you had, so there's like few things that people would say this is doomed for failure, this is never gonna happen. And beyond all that, it's been totally successful and creative. So there's a real secret there. There's a real magic.
My answer to that, and this is something I've been saying from the very beginning, is you can't have two people competing for the same spotlight. And this is Terry's Toffee, and for as much as I am a co-owner with Terry, people love to meet Terry. And it's his grandmother's recipe, and I am so okay with him being the spokesmodel and standing in the background, because at the end of the day, all that energy, it comes back to both of us. He might be more visible than I am within our company, but I am as important to this business as he is, and we don't compete for that spotlight. If you've ever seen us on any television programs or whatever, I pretty much stay in the background, because in our personal life we can talk over each other, but when we're on the news or like doing this, I'm very polite and I really biting my tongue not to talk over him.
It's hard for an Italian,
but it is. My hands are flying all over the place. So.
But I think one thing I realized a number of years, I realized some really, I've had a number of epiphanies doing this. One is that Michael and I are alchemists. We are taking butter and sugar and spices and nuts, and we're literally stirring the pot and blending these things together. And what we turn out isn't just toffee, it's energetically, there is something amazing about this product. Yeah. We have people come into our shop and buy our product in the stores that you can find us, and all the time they say to us, this is not only the most amazing toffee I've ever had, but I feel so good. I when I eat it tastes so good. People literally pause when they eat our toffee, close their eyes, and they start moaning and groaning or eyeing or oohing, and it's so rewarding. We have people call or come in and say, I'm coming by, I've got to pick up some toffee because I've had a really bad day and I need to feel good. And what do you say to that? I mean, come on in, come and get it.
And I think it's really cool for me to watch somebody eating our toffee where you can see the chemicalization happening. It's like this gold just starts at the crown of their head, and it just works its way down. It's like magic.
It's like chakra clearing toffee.
And interestingly enough,
so the spirit loves it.
Spirit loves it.
Yeah.
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 And
absolutely.
It's really nice to see people connecting with. It's nice to see people gobbling down your food, but they seem to be appreciating what we're doing. And it's a labor of love. I mean, this is not because we own a toffee company and I want people to come and buy my toffee. I would not recommend making candy because it's a little tricky. Weather affects how the toffee will turn out. My mood will affect how the toffee comes out. So I'm always in a good mood when I make the toffee. And something that we want to educate people on is that you are eating our energy. And so everybody that works with us, they seem to be in a very good mood.
Don't you think, though, that what they're really doing is it's not eating, they're eating our energy. I think what what's happening is the universe or this energy that is coming through us when you're making the toffee is going into it, and that is what kind of transmutes or turns these products.
They're connecting with the truth of what we're doing.
Yeah,
it's a business. Yeah. We run it like a business, but the truth has been we've never cared about the money. And I want to be clear. Yes, we run a business, and we're doing the best that we can to be as smart with how we're spending our money, and we need to make a profit. We need to support ourselves. And having said that, the truth has been we've always trusted that the perfect person's going to come in, the perfect store is going to carry our toffee, and the people that have come in have been so kind to us and so receptive to the work that we're doing that I think it's really interesting. Terry gets a lot of phone calls about who does our PR? Who does our PR? Who does your PR? Who does? And he has to answer honestly. He does.
Humbly.
You know, through the morning pages, through meditation, through intuition, through connection.
I think we've got the best PR
Absolutely. And
firm in the world. Connection.
Understand, you know, this has never been about being the biggest company in the world. It's never been our dream. It's been about, up until this past February, we had 2 dogs. We lost one a few years ago. We lost our other girl this past year. And what's always been most important to Terry and myself is that we have a life outside of our business. And our girls were the most important thing in the world to us. So it's hard to talk about. So, but it's been really important for us to maintain a life outside of this. And like anybody who owns their own business, it's 24/7. You're always thinking about it. But physically, we were able to go home and separate and spend time with our girls. Our girls were amazing, and honestly, that's why we've worked so hard. We were working really hard because we wanted to buy a second home out in the country for them. I'm not saying that we would not have enjoyed it, but we had 2 beautiful Bernese mountain dogs, and my goal was to be able to take them out into the country and spend time with them out there. They made me happy. I think for Terry and myself, we have an amazing relationship. Our girls, it was the most honest relationship I've ever had in my life. They were just pure truth, pure love, innocent. So they made us better men. They made us who we are today. And so I think for Terry and myself, even within our business, it's important for us to carry on as if they are still here, and with the integrity and the intentions of why we do what we do.